So, okay, so let's start today's lesson. Welcome everyone. This is Nordic Dojo lesson. I think it's the first one in this year, right? So, Happy New Year to everyone. So I hope it will be a great one without no health troubles, no pandemic or nothing like that. So I hope everything will be just great for all of us, and also we will have a chance to play a lot of Go overall, like no matter if it's online or live, because finally we can play tournaments again. Maybe we will also have a chance to go to Asia since Asia is opening again. Probably even China actually is starting, as far as I know. Japan and Korea opened some time ago. Taiwan did as well. China is starting recently, so I hope we will have a chance to go. We will have a chance to go to play to Asia as well, like no live in person. So I hope everything will go great. So, actually, this year started with a very important tournament for me, which is called Czech Go Baron. And that's actually a unique tournament, which I believe tournament with this kind of mode or with this kind of system and settings and prize money and so on is happened to be held only in my home country, Czech Republic. And actually, as I said, the year started with this title match of this tournament. However, it was actually postponed because normally we play a title match at the end of the year, so we were supposed to play it in the first weekend of December. But there was a Grand Slam announced for that date, so we had to postpone it by 1 month. So it's actually title match 2022, not 2023. I hope the next title match will happen normally in 2023 in December, and there will be no late announcement of Great Slam tournament or anything. So, what is this tournament about? So, this tournament started in 2012, if I remember correctly. So, this has been the 11th edition, and it actually works similar to some Asian tournaments. Like there is a qualification tournament, and the winner of the qualification has a chance to challenge the current title holder. So so the, and actually and actually this year there has been added another qualification, like basically qualification for the qualification, because because it's usually like mostly Czech 5-dan and 6-dan players are like aiming to become challengers. But usually like the 3-dan and 4-dan players, they don't really feel so much motivated to play because they don't feel so much chance. So this year there has been added another qualification before only for 3-dan and 4-dan players, and actually, so like the winners, top 3 or 4, if I remember correctly, had a chance to enter the qualification. Uh, so so in this tournament we are not playing for money, or we actually do, but you can only exchange it from the gold ounces that you are actually winning. So how does the gold ounces look? I have actually one example here. I can show it on camera. Gold ounce looks like this. So it's just 31 grams of gold. And how much is the value of 1 gold ounce? You can easily Google, but it's quite some money. So this actually makes this tournament the best sponsored tournament in Czechia. Actually, much better than Czech Championship or a Prague tournament or anything. Like the first prize is just simply simply higher. So there used to be only one sponsor. So there used to be only one sponsor for this, but starting from this year, there are 3 sponsors. In the past, we were actually, yes, that should be about the rate, nearly $2,000 per ounce, exactly. So there we used to always play for 3 ounces. Like basically the title holder gets 2 ounces, and the challenger or like the one who loses the title match gets only 1 ounce. So basically, once you win the qualification, you already have 1 ounce for sure. But if you win the title, you win 2 gold ounces, and you are already directly in the title match for the next year. So basically, you win 3 if we count it like that. Yeah. So that's how actually the tournament works. There is also some more prize money in the qualification, and in, let's say, in terms of hundreds of euros. So even like if you finish third in the qualification, you probably still get some hundreds of euros. So even like some people who go really far in the qualification, because the qualification is double knockout. So like once you start on Friday, if you survive until Sunday, well, it's quite a long way. It would be a pity if you don't win anything. So usually a lot like more people in the qualification get some money. And also, as I said, this year there was also a qualification for the qualification. So even actually the winner of the qualification gets something. I think there have been some silver ounces, if I remember. Actually, not ounces. There were actually like silver something like cubes or something like that, but they also have some value, probably like 400 euro or something or something like that. So even there was a lot to play for sure. So who are the sponsors? Like actually, before the sponsor was one Czech businessman who actually got very successful by trading with gold, silver, and this kind of stuff. And he actually came with this idea all of a sudden, as I said, 11 years ago. Like he just proposed this idea. He's like only 10Q in Go or something, but he just decided it would be great to have such a tournament in Czechia. And actually, starting from this year, there are three sponsors who are actually sharing the ounces. So, like, one of them is this guy, one of them is Jan Gerner, who you might not know so much, but he's also quite a rich Czech businessman, and he's a two dan in Go. And the last one is Vladimir Daněk, and that's a very famous name, I believe, for most of you. Like, that's a Czech legendary Go player who is retired from a job, but not retired as a player yet, but he's also now sponsoring with 1 ounce. So we are all grateful to him that he is actually still playing, still sponsoring. Yeah, and we are actually grateful to all of the sponsors we have in Czechia. We are actually quite lucky for that, I have to say. Yeah, actually, Vladimir Daněk was playing in the qualification himself, but didn't succeed his time. Once he challenged for the title, but it's some years ago already. So, and about my history in this tournament, actually, in the like at the beginning of this tournament, Ondřej Schill, the strongest Czech player like 10 years ago, was actually winning the title 2012, 13, 14, and then 2015 I came back from China and managed to take the title from him. And since 2015, I'm basically winning the title each time except one case. And the only case was in 2018, where I was challenged by Jan Hora, and that's another six-dan Czech player who I lost 2-3 in the title match, because the title match is best of five, so it makes it really interesting. But I lost in the last game in 2-3. So yeah, so then I lost the title, but in 2019 I took it again, and since then I'm sitting on gold. How my Czech national team teammates are, yeah, trolling me, let's say. Yeah. Okay. So, and why did I decide to present this highlights title match here? The reason is that there was a very dramatic title match. That in this title match I was actually already 0-2 down at some point, like after two games. But then I managed to reverse the title match to 3-2. And there are very many dramatic moments in this title match, and I thought it would be super interesting to make a lesson on them. Basically, I took like highlights from each game and some moments where one of like either me or my opponent played in quite a clever way, and I hope that it will give you some inspiration, a bit more about understanding of Go and so on. I forgot to mention who was my opponent, right? My opponent was Ondřej Kruml. That's a Czech six-dan player, and he actually was challenging me for a third year in a row already. But in 2020 it was 3-0. In 2021 I already lost one game. It was 3-1. So this time it was 3-2. So I should be aware that next time it might be even more dangerous. So it was basically the same players final during the last 3 years. Yeah, actually, yeah, my opponent is in his 30s in these days, and he actually is working quite hard on himself, like he's improving in Go. You can also find him on in a Czech national team as number 3 at the moment. So he's getting pretty good by studying with AI and so on. So I expected a tough match, but I didn't expect to be 0-2 down after 2 games. So, but at least it made the match more interesting. Yeah. So I actually set a bit of spoiler here because I was asked here if if I won the tournament. Yes, I did, but it was dangerous. It was extremely dangerous. So yeah, so I got another 2 gold ounces, and my opponent got 1. Okay, so I guess we can directly dive into the games. So we can take a look at game one. I am actually there is a first example or first highlight from this game at the beginning. I was white in this game, but the game is recording from Black's view, of course. The scribe was sitting on on Black's side, of course. So I would like to stop right here at the moment. So that's the first highlight from this game. You can actually see, especially those of you who know me a bit more, like about my games and so on. I played a lot of high stones in this game, and yeah, it didn't quite work out in the end. And in some situations, especially in the bottom left corner, I didn't know exactly how to behave. So I got a bit of small defense advantage in the Fuseki, but probably not yet. The interesting part started here, that Black actually decided to attach here in the top left corner. And and I decided to hunt it from this side after quite a lot of thinking, and I actually planned to drive Black into this Joseki because I believe that this should be quite a good result. Like I can use the wall in the bottom left to attack Black somehow, like something like this. Like this was kind of my idea what I wanted to do. What I didn't expect was that Black actually will cut from this side, which I actually thought, according to my Joseki knowledge, that if we play like this, that this is actually pretty bad for Black, as far as I know. Especially in this game where White has a stone here. Like J16, J16 can be actually pretty annoying vital point for a Black's group, and those Black 6 stones are pretty heavy at the moment. Indeed, the left side is not that interesting as usual, but it's still in this case, I believe White is pretty good. So, what is the solution here for Black? And the solution is pretty clever, I think, and that's something that showed that Black is a really strong player, like that that he became really strong recently. And actually, I already see in the comment section, yeah, Black did a core variation, but Black cannot start the core right away at the moment. The core is too heavy. The core is too heavy, and even if Black plays a core threat somewhere, like this one, for example, and White captures and Black goes up, the question is if actually Black got enough. Like Black actually demolished White's structure on the right side, but on the other hand, Black also lost a move here, and Black basically exploded completely in the top left corner. So I'm not actually sure if Black did well enough in this case. However, Black can use one weakness in White's formation in the top left. They're basically Black can activate this core whenever he wants, because if Black loses the core just like this without playing at B16 and White captures the two Black stones, it's much less painful than before. Basically, Black can spare a move here, because if Black actually creates some core threats, like Black starts playing here and here and here, and now starts the core. Okay, Black's payment on the right side is big, but White can basically never afford to lose the core in the top left. The core is just way too big. Like White doesn't have a big enough core threat at the moment. Like no matter if White tries to play here or I don't know here in an attempt to kill the corner, that's not enough. Like imagine what happens if Black wins the core. White used to have a huge influence there, huge potential, and then Black will just take over everything in the top left. So this simply cannot happen. So that's why black can actually play almost whatever on the right side in order to find the right moment to start this call. So what can white do at this moment? It's actually super difficult. It's actually super difficult. In the game, I decided to just capture the core. Black went up. White, I captured the group, and I was actually pretty happy about the result in the top left corner. But compared to this variation, we can see there is one big difference, and that's B16. So that's actually the big difference. And also, black got another extra move. Not only black didn't lose a move at b16, but also black got a creative move in the center. And black actually played this move in the on the K line in the center, and it looks actually pretty important. Like black is basically expanding the huge potential on the right side, and black is also reducing the potential of white in the top left. I actually really appreciated this move in the game, and at the moment, actually, white is behind. Probably about 5 points or something like that. But white is fairly behind. I could have done slightly better here. I could have played Atari just from this side, and if black goes up, now I can probably get another move somewhere. Like I don't have to capture. I don't necessarily have to capture because now I can play something like this. And if black connects, white connects, black is still pretty heavy with the dumpling in the top left. So so that was probably how I should have played here, and this can still kind of keep the game even. But if actually black gets to play another move here, this makes quite a solid advantage for black. After black separated the right side and then even managed to play this move. And yeah, in this game, I think there has never been a moment when I was ahead, but there was actually a chance how I could create a bigger drama than I created in the game later. So so you can still, of course, still ask some questions about the top left, but if there are no questions, we can actually move to another moment from this game. Normally, white would Atari now for a different coin instead of connecting. I don't know what do you mean. Mm, I don't know which core do you mean actually. There is no other core, I think. Instead of C13. Mm, well, probably you mean this one. Like this is a different core. This can also happen in some cases, but that's the only other core I can think about actually. Instead of white connecting at C13. Ah, right. Yeah, I could have started this one, but this is worse than usual because usually we have a stone at B15 instead of B13. So this one is a bit worse, I think. I think it's still heavy. It's still heavy, but better than the game indeed. Like it's easier to play for sure. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so we can actually jump to move 82. 80 move to is this one. And this is the moment, like from later in the middle game, you can see the game changed quite a lot. Like white managed to still save some stones from the right side, but black actually managed to get h14 to save the three stones there, and also black managed to block a very big territory in the top right corner. And now white is clearly behind, so white is actually thinking about how to make some drama from this game. I was, for example, counting if I can do this, but I thought this is not good enough. Like I will not get enough points by capturing the group in the top left. So that's why I didn't do this. So I invaded Sansan. Let's see how black is going to respond. So black responded like this, which is usually a move that we are playing if we want to avoid a core and we are strong enough around. So I created some edges here, played some combination in this area, and at this moment, black actually made a big mistake. Like this move looks like it will be safe to capture everything and so on. But actually, black could have, if I remember correctly, play Atari from the other side. And now if white connects, black can actually capture white very easily. And if white connects from this side, black can actually connect himself anytime he wants. And well, maybe what black could have Tanuki, but he cannot give up so much territory actually. But what happened in the game? So black actually tried to kill everything. I'm still dead in the corner, of course, but after this move, black captures, and now now actually I can cut like this, which still doesn't work, but there is already a choice how I can live in the corner. But for some mysterious reason, I actually missed the last move. I mean, I read the last few moves, and I thought I see a life in the corner, and actually how to make life here. The Tesuji is this one. This is very interesting Tesuji that I can actually activate at the moment in order to live. And if, for example, this happens, now I can just make life like this in the corner. The key point is to get this move in center. That's the most important at the moment. Like I need to have a Hane to prevent the underconnection of black at S16. So that's why this move is correct. But in the game I was low on time and I made a mistake. I just played like this, and black was still able to kill me, even though there is still some kind of core here, but only for under connection, which is of course not good enough for living. So even like this, there is still something in the corner that I have actually have done, but this honey was a very big mistake, and it's actually quite interesting, or it's actually mysterious how come I missed this move. What actually Black can do? Black can actually do play here without taking away his own liberties, but White can still make this exchange, this, and still White can live this way. It doesn't change much. So like black can try to attempt some core here, but even like this, it's not a core because white can live by S17. So this was actually a very big chance for me to make the game at least close this way, or there was another chance in a few moments. I made this exchange, and the moment how I could also make the game close was not to play here. I actually wanted to get a bit more. I actually thought black is going to answer here, which didn't happen because I already saw that at this moment this should be center for this should be center for a core like this. But since there is only a core in the corner, black didn't answer, and black decided to link up the stones in the center. So that was my mistake. I probably shouldn't have played here. I should have just cut through this way, and like this, the cut would be much more clean than I planned before, like at the beginning of playing this whole sequence. And of course, I still have an attempt for the core in the top right corner. So like this, I would make the game close. But this was another big mistake I did here. So the first one was this, and the second one was this. Those were big chances how to make a drama here. Instead, in the game, I actually managed to make a core here, but black managed to link up the stones in the center and also destroyed the top side from me. And it seems like there is no way back from here for white. And black actually deserved to win this game. In the end, I lost big. I was, of course, a bit angry about my loss, so I was hesitating a bit about resignation, and in the end, we finished the game, and I lost by 13 and a half. But that's a big difference, of course. So Black absolutely deserved to win this game, but seems like I produced some interesting combination in the top right corner, but didn't finish it off, like with T13 or cutting through L12. So I definitely could have done better here. But I think this is a very interesting moment from this game, and this game overall I think offered many interesting moments. But anyway, I deserve to lose. So after Friday evening, I was 0-1 down. So these were the two highlighted moments I wanted to show from the first game. So we can move to the second game. And I remember in the evening or also in the morning I was wondering how can I improve because I was worse in every single aspect than my opponent in the first round. So how to improve for the second round? So Hello, baby Shamble. Um and then I actually figure out, yeah, I should just do properly what I do best, usually playing calm, taking territory, and wait for the opponent to come up with something. So that's what I decided to go for the second game. And in the second game, we directly jump into move 60. Since it's a title match, we switched colors. So in this game, I was black and what to do at this moment. Like so far, you can see that black has some territory, mostly white has some influence, and mostly black doesn't have any problem on the board. So this already looks more like my game, let's say. And even though black is likely not leading yet, I felt quite comfortable about my position. So this example I wanted to show not because it's like super interesting regarding some spectacular combination or something like that, but I wanted to show it how to play calm if you feel good in the game and or if you believe it's a or if you believe you can just play some calm moves and so on, and you will feel confident. The, the bottom is not small, of course. The bottom is not small, and yeah, actually, I wanted to ask you, like, what are your suggestions? I already gave a hint. I'm trying to play calm in this game, and I also try to stay calm in this case. So, so what are your suggestions? Where could I play at the moment? L5. Can put L5. What else? N4. Okay. Any other ideas? R3 and M3. Okay, yeah, all of these suggestions make sense, I think, but I will explain you what I wanted to do in this game. So, first of all, some moves ago, we can go a bit back. We can go back here. I played this move, which is questionable, but never mind. White decided to reduce here. I attacked white like this, so white was just going out like this, and I was quite happy not because I was attacking white, it was not so severe attack in fact, but I was happy I could naturally jump into white's potential. Like because now it's extremely hard for white to close any kind of line at the bottom without being invaded or closing some central territory, but still there are some cracks inside this formation. Like there is still some two space jump with some weaknesses. There is some weakness also in this area at Q7. So I need to fix these weaknesses somehow while reducing the bottom. So that's actually one of the reasons why I would not play like this, because I would be too afraid that this happens and white can activate some of my weaknesses after this move, for example. So like actually my group in the center would naturally become really weak at the moment. So that's why I would not do that. Mm, yeah, yeah, that's yes, yes. White can attack black in the center. Yes. Okay, but all the other moves actually were definitely choices that I was still thinking of, and in the end, I decided I have to find a combination how to fix these weaknesses while making some points and also while reducing the bottom. So I decided to play here, and I thought this is a vital point of the shape. You can also often find, like in pro games and so on, that when you are approaching Ogema, you are often using this vital point. That was actually another reason. Like if I would play some move here, I can imagine White would still play here himself, because now he is aiming still for the weaknesses like inside my formation. So I thought it's really important. And after I defended just like this, I played another Keima here. So like this, we are defending the weaknesses, and we are also building some points, and we are reducing the bottom. Because if white now would decide to make this kind of territory, it will not be big enough most likely. Because now black will just come back here, and black is clearly really winning on points. So white just cannot play just this way. So what happened in the game? In the game, In the game, White decided to directly Tenuki because he didn't find a good move anymore. Some suspicious invasion happened at the top side. That's something I didn't want to review so much. And now we are actually getting into another important moment that I wanted to highlight. And it's here at the bottom. Because when White is playing so close to Black's formation, this move has a very clear sign. White is not happy with the game. Like, if White would be happy with the game, I believe White would be just play like this. But now White is actually playing very close to Black's formation and basically forcing Black to defend here, which is something that would be most likely enough if I continue to play calm. But in the game, I decided to fight a bit, but the fight went quite well. And in fact, at the moment, there is a move which would almost strike a finish, and that I didn't see. And I would like to show it here how easily a game can get out of control, even if you are trying to play calm. And then you get into some kind of fight. There is always still some kind of solution, and here it was. But I unfortunately saw the move only a few seconds after I placed the move I played in the game. In the game, because I almost automatically played here and I thought White is captured, but White played this Kosumi, and all of a sudden, it looks like White has a lot of liberties. White is aiming for two cutting points, basically this one, and it seems pretty hard for Black to find a solution. Like if Black plays here, and now White will probably use some kind of attachment here for either for complete separation, or if the separation doesn't work, White will just cut this way, and Black doesn't have so many liberties at the bottom since White can also exchange this anytime, kind of. So this is something Black has to be aware of. So Black has to defend here, but in the game White found this move, and if Black goes up, White actually wedges like this, has a lot of liberties, and White is aiming for two cutting points here. So this is what I couldn't have done in the game. In the game I connected solid, White played here, took a liberty. I actually can make enough liberties like this. Basically, if White tries to go out, I can capture the 4 at the bottom. So this is not working. But White decided to play here to make more liberties and also threaten to cut. I connected this way, White connected. I made this exchange and connected here. It looks like Black destroyed a lot of White's potential, but not as much as White destroyed from Black. White destroyed much more, also captured something, and this was actually the moment how the game got out of control. There were also some turnarounds and ups and downs later, but finally I lost this game by half a point. Yeah, so this was really painful, but we actually still haven't found a solution on this move, right? The move is actually here. This is the solution which basically almost immediately strikes a finish. Yes, Black can attach at L6. Yeah, after this, it doesn't seem like there is a way for White, because L6 looks very unintuitive, right? And normally unintuitive moves often don't come to my mind. And this time it came, but after I placed the stone at G6. So unfortunately I didn't play it, but this seems like a strike of finish. Like, I don't see a possibility how what White can do. Like, at this moment, White can also still can play this vital point, but at this moment, Black can probably just block. White has the less liberties than before. Like, the shape is much worse. Black can just go to capture this way. So Black is definitely winning this race. So just this attachment seems like a solution, and I think Black would be in very comfortable position. It looks extremely hard to lose this game at the moment because White doesn't have so many points. Black is kind of solid almost everywhere, and it doesn't look very likely. So in this game, I felt like I recovered from the shock from the first day. I played kind of the game I wanted, but I didn't manage to drive it home, which is usually my strength, but not this time because it got out of control in this case, like in this area in the center. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to show from the second game. Actually, second game was played on Saturday morning, and then so there was still one more game one more game to play that day. So, and that was actually game 3. That was game 3, so we can actually move there. And the game 3 was actually interesting because of a few reasons. Before we had some lunch invitation for the sponsors. Of course, my opponent was felt very relaxed already there, and also during this game, my opponent, I'm not sure if he took it like of course he took it seriously, but it felt like he's trying to play different, like that he doesn't play the game he usually plays, and he tried some new stuff, or the stuff is of course not entirely new, but it's something that is not happening very often nowadays, but it actually produced another interesting game. So I would like to show you some moments directly from the Fuseki what happened. Actually, there is one interesting statistic which I knew about, that nobody ever reversed 0-2 before this title match during the history of the Czech Baron tournament. Yeah, but I was still like, okay, let's try to win this game, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So this attachment is already a move which doesn't happen very often in these days, but what happens even more rarely is E6 extension. So we can actually take a look on that a bit. So white goes here to play a vital point, and now if white would play any kind of extension like this one, white doesn't want to give black this extension to the corner. So that's why white directly plays here. So that's the move to learn, and black can cut at this moment, because if white now tries to cut black, if white tries to capture black, black can play this Kosumi, which creates a Miai between this move and this move. So if white tries to fix this, now actually black can just Hane here, and white cannot capture black. Black will have simply too many liberties. So white cannot capture black, so white has to endure this cut and just push few times and then go back to the corner. And actually in this game I decided to push once again and then go to the corner. White can also push and cut, but this gets into very complicated variation which I'm not that familiar about, but so I decided just to go down, and later in the end game, of course, white can capture d5 and capture the two stones. So there is actually one interesting AI update which I have checked later after the game. The best move according to AI is this, which in my opinion is super weird, kind of. And the variation AI shows is this one. And yeah, it looks a bit unintuitive again, but it's a lot of AI variations, so it wouldn't be an online lecture without AI, a bit of AI corner, right? So that's a bit of AI new stuff from this lecture. Yeah, but anyway, I still feel very unintuitive not to cut here. So yeah, a bit weird. Anyway, so that's actually what happened in this game. I took a lot of territory, black took a lot of influence, and then black actually decided to play another move which is not happening that often, and that's a Taisha move. That's a Taisha move. I guess in most of the cases we would just play here, right, in these days, but Taisha move hasn't happened for a while. So, but my opponent played it here. He actually, since he knows me very well and he knows I like to take territory, he said he expected I will play this variation. But this didn't happen. This didn't happen. I decided to cut through because I thought if this happens, black's walls are just too huge and it would be not easy to reduce the moyo from here. So I went through, black went through like this, white played here, and the classic, what is happening is this, right? Like if white connects at e17, that's the most usual, and usually some kind of variation like this happens. I guess you can find it like in some Shusaku games and so on, something like that. But I didn't like this so much because I thought that black can fight with the thickness in the bottom left. Like this group could be quite weak. Basically now black can very nicely use the wall at the bottom. So that's why I decided to not play this variation. And also I was not sure if actually my opponent was not studying some AI new stuff in Taisha. I would not be surprised about that. So That's why I thought entering this would not be very responsible. So I decided to connect from the top. So black played here, white played this, I play this one, and I captured in the ladder. And this is very important to know, and I would like you to remember this order of moves. It would be more intuitive to play like this, right? But now if black just goes out, at the moment we still have not fixed the ladder. So later we will probably have to add another move around f15 to capture the ladder. But if we play here and black plays this move and now we capture and black blocks, now we have a possibility to decide if we want to block here, but we don't want to block there so much, right? We played this Joseki not for creating a territory at the top side, because now you would basically need two moves here. You would basically need two moves here to create a territory, but we played it more for thickness, just to get some power. And we actually accumulate already enough power by creating this Ponuki. And also white takes center, and it's another important point. So that's why it's important to know this order of moves. And I believe my opponent messed up the order of moves here. He first played here, but I didn't find a way what is if there is any punishment or anything. So I captured as well, and he still actually came back here. So in the end, it actually ended up in a Joseki variation, but I was not sure if there is actually not some better move. Like probably not here because black can cut, but I was wondering maybe I can jump or something like that. So in some special situations, I think this order of moves can matter. But in this game it didn't. But in some other games it might matter, I think. So this is actually important to know, like what is the order of moves in this simple Taifusha variation in the top left. So you can see on the left part of the board there are two Josekis which are not happening very often nowadays, but in this game they happened from Black's initiative. So so me as white here continue to play here. So we will move a bit more. And we will move to this moment. Because my opponent played another very ambitious move. Like I believe this Ogema is the best move on the board. Like I would play there as well. But I'm not 100% sure about this one. Like if I would be black here, I would most likely either make it a maximum big, like this, or I would just close the line, like something like this. This would be probably my instinct, because I feel like I don't want to make white alive inside, because there is because if black makes the moyo too big, white will live there. But black also needs to take into account that there is still this in center. Like white can basically get all of these endgames, so black has to be careful to not make it the moyo so too small. Because if white just steals so many points by this endgame in center, then black cannot win on points. So it's not easy job where to play for black. But so black decided to play here. So, but at this moment I thought it's too ambitious what black did here. So I decided to invade inside, and that's actually a highlight I wanted to show you, because I believe I made a really good sabaki inside. So at this moment I thought just pushing and cut here is not good enough, because now it feels like J11 is in its place. Like now it's in a good position. So I decided to place a stone directly inside, in the heart of the moil. So, and black may basically has to be careful about some weaknesses. Like white has basically this move in center, this move in center. There are some cracks inside here, and there is also a crack here. Like that's always what we are doing. Like when we are deeply invading a moyo, we should use the cracks inside black's formation. So I place a stone here. Black decided to protect this weakness, and now I play Keima here to pretend I want to drive out the stone at f5. Black protected another weakness here. I played this move. I think I have showed you in one of the previous games that this is a vital point, how we are often approaching an Ogema in a space somewhere on the board. Black had to defend here, and I remember I was actually thinking for a while here what is the best Sabaki move. In the end, I went for this one. Black played here. I drove a stone from here, And now all of a sudden you can see that these stones are cut off. These stones are cut off and black has to connect them under. But connecting there under and on the left side is also not easy. Because if black plays here, there is still a lot of like wedges, edges and so on. Like if black plays here, there is still a lot of edge as well. So even the Keima is not working. So in the end, black played Kosumi. And this one is kind of working, but it's very, very painful like this. So in the end, in the game, I just attached here, made life this way, and moreover, not only then I managed to make life with some points, L6 is still an AG. But in the end, I decided I don't have to try to cut off black. I was not 100% sure if I'm winning this semi. Probably I do, but I didn't want to gamble. I just thought that if I come back this way, it's already good enough to win this game. And finally, I played here, which it seems like a gote, but in fact it's not because white has some continuation here for later to capture some extra points this way. So the potential or the area on the left side would completely recolor from blacks to whites. So I believe that at this moment, when I played here, it's not a complete game over because black still has a lot of influence in the center, but it's extremely hard to win this game for black. Like black needs to get a lot from some attacking on the right side or making some or activating some agi at the top side. Yeah, it looks very unlikely that black can hit from this position. White got too much in the center. White lived too easily. But how could black prevent that? I believe the best chance for black was to play a peep here from this side because it's true that black will not manage to surround white, but black actually with this move is hitting quite a vital point of white's shape, and also is protecting the problem of f5 because f5 prove out to be quite a big problem later. So black is basically preventing it, and at this moment it's still not easy for white to find the next move. Most likely it would be somewhere here. White would be trying to run out, and it should be no problem to run out, but black can actually make white run for quite a while, and black can actually try to get something from the attacking. So that's something I would definitely recommend black here. If I would be in his position, like I would peep here and try to make white run as long as possible. I believe this Keima is a bit slack. Like it's not enough to just enclose white there because it is extremely hard to use the thickness in the center. Yeah, so there are a few things from this sabaki to remember. Like we are trying to use the opponent's weaknesses on the borders of this moyo, and also we are trying to like invade in the somewhere in the center so we can make base. Actually, keimas are quite often very good shapes to make sabakis like this, and also you can see a lot this shape when you are making sabaki inside the opponent moyos. Like it's called dog's head, right, or something like that, or something like that. So that's what I was also that's what I was following in this sequence as well. Like I wanted to make a good shape by playing Keimas and Dog's Head. Yeah. So after I lived in the opponent's moyo, it looked very unlikely my opponent can come back. So after Saturday, I managed to make the score 1-2, but of course still I didn't have any chance for any kind of loss. I still had to win all of my games until the end, but I started to feel some chance that there could be some kind of possibility to still keep my title. So we can go to game 4. So the strategy for Sunday was the same one like for game 2 and also 3, kind of like to play what I'm good at, like taking territory, keep being calm, make strong shapes, and so on. So that's something what we will see in the next game as well. So we can jump to game 4, and this is how the situation looks like at the moment. So I was black in this game, And you can see again, I have some corner territories, strong shapes, and so on. But there is something White has changed a bit for Sunday. White is actually trying to play quite solid as well, as you can see. Like especially you can see the super thick shape here at the top side, which White created after invading there at the beginning. So, and when you have such a strong shape, it's much easier for you to continue by some invasions and reductions in the opponent's sphere of influence. So my opponent actually started to think how to invade the top left corner. And since we have learned something about approaching Ogemas today, where would you play as white? What do you think is the best move? D15. Here we go. Yeah, D15. Yeah, when I checked the game with AI, this was a blue move. So my opponent hit a blue move, and this move is actually very annoying to answer. So in the end, I answered this way, which I'm not sure if it's the best answer, but very interesting moment will come at this moment. Because I remember White was thinking for a while here. Like he somehow didn't like any variation. I remember in the end he played this Kosumi, but this is nothing special because now Black gets the entrance to White's left side potential. So I thought White's solution was not so great at the moment. I believe that White should have either played like this, or, and that's something what I want to show you, White can strongly think about giving up everything, like taking those as good exchanges, these exchanges inside, and taking the outside. And basically Black has to keep answering like this. Then White will cut this way, White will cut here, White will play Atari here, Black will capture, White will get also this center, and White will connect. Can White get enough from this influence? That's actually a very, very mysterious question, which always we have to ask whether we want to give so many points to Black. Like Black gets 30 points corner, but White's wall is something here in this game. So it's the question if White can get enough. Of course, I believe my opponent didn't want to give me so many points, but I believe this would be playable for White. Like this was a possibility which I was considering he could do. So this was very interesting moment where we always have to judge, like if we can give so many points or should we just invade, we just continue with the original idea of invasion. So in the end my opponent didn't do that, but I think it would be very interesting variation how White could behave in this case. So so there is another moment from these games. This was quite a peaceful game. Like there was no major fight. So that's why we are mostly talking about positional judgment stuff in this game. So let's jump into this position. So we are at this moment. Black is probably leading by a bit, like up to 3 points, but not more for sure. And before I showed a move where the opponent hit a blue move, but now I hit a blue move, which I was very surprised about. But Black is thinking what is the best and most effective way to enclose the right side. So where would you play as Black? What do you believe is the most effective move for Black to enclose the right side? So P12 is one suggestion. O12. Any other suggestions? So G5 is a good is probably fine, but off topic a bit. We are closing the right side at the moment. And also Q14 is a suggestion. ICO14 is also a suggestion. And yeah, okay. Some choices have been made here. So we need to close the line somehow. So like the first move, if I remember correctly, that came to my mind was this one. Like to make sure that nothing happens there. Also, I wanted to play from my two stones on the right side because they are weaker than my corner. So this was the first option. I was actually also wondering, like, if I want to maximize the value, I would probably play here. But this still contains a lot of weaknesses. On the other hand, this one seemed like I was not sure if it's the best. It didn't seem like it's enough. Like probably it continues to be a close game, but this move felt suboptimal. Finally, I played this move. So P12 was correct. And I was really surprised that it was actually a blue move according to AI. But I was actually thinking about this move for quite a while. And I was checking out all possible invasions of white inside. And that's actually the beginning of white's end in this game because he decided to invade anyway. And that's why I think white shouldn't have invaded. I think white should have just played some kind of reduction like this, let's say, and like either reduce like this way, for example, or just play a big move here and game continues. I think white doesn't have to be that impatient. So white actually decided to play here, played very interesting moves here, but it's still not enough for living. Like white did the best effort to make a base, but I just captured. White goes up here, and now actually it's a moment where black has to be careful to kill properly, because if black plays here, for example, now white can make either an eye, or if white actually takes away the eye, if black takes away the eye, white can go out this way. So black has to be really careful about that. And black can also play this move, but now white would play here, 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 here. And if white pushes and then cut, oof, it can be a long liberty race. I was not 100% sure if everything works. Probably it does, it seems like, but I wasn't 100% sure. So finally, I decided to make a kind of compromise, which is what I'm doing often, and that's playing here, 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 here. Now white has to go out. I cut off these stones, force white to go out, and now I also get to play here, which is the last big move on the board. So even though my right side got slightly smaller, it got actually super solid. White lost center there, and I managed to play m3, and now black is clearly leading. So what to learn from this is, of course, hard to like read all of the invasions and play a closing move according to that. But I believe we should learn from this that patience is a very good thing in Go. Even though white felt slightly behind, and it's actually true, he didn't have to invade so early here, because this actually could easily I mean, if you die here, it basically means end of the game, and that's what kind of happened. Even though white didn't die completely, still it was actually very difficult afterwards for white to play. Yeah, P12 ends up in a empty triangle or ice hockey stick, since we have a lot of Finnish viewers here. Let's call it an ice hockey stick here, right? Finnish guys. So okay, so this was game four. And later actually my opponent tried to make an attempt to kill the left side group, which didn't work out. So eventually he resigned. So actually, yeah, Isaac. Yeah, and then I went for lunch with my girlfriend, and we had a lot of time, so we were walking out and so on, getting my head clean for the third game, and yeah, that was actually the decisive one for the title. Yeah, L group is an Isaac in the corner. Yeah, makes sense. So let's take a look on the highlights of the last game. Yeah, it was clear that during the lunch break, wha- uh, my opponent, who was actually white again in this game, because we were doing nigiri once again in the decisive game, made a lot of self-reflection. Like it looks like he's trying to change something drastically compared to the previous games. And okay, he already played quite patient in some games before, but in this time he also tried to pay attention on his time limit, because in the previous games he usually fell behind on time on the clock very quickly. But in this game he started to play super quick, and that's something what was annoying me. Like he was just playing super simple moves and just playing quick all the time. So that's why well, he managed to get a bit into my mind, let's say, and I was not that patient as in previous games. Patience is usually my strong part of my game, but not in this game. Not in this game. But first of all, I wanted to show one interesting shape. So white actually played a reduction here with the shoulder hit, which looks good. Black goes up, and I was a bit surprised that white played extension here, because honestly, I usually play jump after shoulder hit. But in this case, I played Keima and white jump here. White jump here, and even though this move looks completely natural, I believe it's a small mistake. I believe it's a small mistake shape-wise. I think white should have played here, because now a black doesn't have any clear attacking move on white, and also for later, white can complete a shape like this, which looks pretty nice, I believe. So I don't think white is interested to play on the star point. I think white should probably play this to space jump. But I will show you what is the biggest problem of the star point. And this is a shape which happens quite often, because that's something would happen in the game. Black can play this, and now white connects here, and black gets this peep, and then this one. And you can see that white's shape at the bottom looks very heavy at the moment. And even though white didn't go behind here entirely, this group is, yeah, not in a good shape at the moment. And that's something what white could have prevented. And of course, K4 it can be hardly considered to be as a mistake, but it's already heading into this shape kind of. But either white could have played like this, because if black cuts, white can play Atari like this, and if black extends and white connects, I think white's exchange at L6 is not bad. And now there is something which came from AI, and I had to laugh, because no way I could ever find this in my find this in my Go career. I think AI actually suggests white to play here. Okay, if you are white and you know this and you are able to find this kind of shape, feel free to play this sequence. But if you cannot, you will probably end up being very heavy. But I'm wondering how many players in the world would find this one. Yeah, basically the idea was just to make a better connection in the center like this and get rid of these two heavy stones. But anyway, very interesting stuff. Yeah, yeah, H7 maybe. Yeah, H7 would also come to my mind. Like this can be a Tesuji in this shape, right? Like we play a peep and then we play on the head from the other side like this. But yeah, I would never think about H8 in my lifetime. No way. So at this moment, I was quite happy about the game, but it didn't last so long. It didn't last so long, because first of all, I think yeah, see Shinjin Seo maybe maybe, but nobody else. So first of all, I made a very suspicious reduction here, and then I tried very suspicious cut here, which didn't work out because white just connected very easily. So I felt pretty unhappy about this game at the moment. Well, later I realized I was probably losing by only half a komi, like 3 points or something. So I can still being patient. I have some strong shapes, and basically the only issue I have is the group I'm running with here. Like it's not 100% alive, but it's some kind of weakness. And but anywhere else on the board, I'm super strong. Like bottom left corner, this massive Ponuki here. So I have a lot of strength on the board. But still, I didn't like so much that I would be only running here or just creating a shape like this, for example. Probably I can play like this, but I would be slightly behind, let's say. So in this game, as I said, I was not patient enough. I was not patient enough, and I played this shoulder hit in the end. And of course, my plan was expecting white to play like this, and this would create a similar shape to what I tried before, but also it would reduce some points extra. So I thought if we play like this, the game is close again. But my opponent decided to resist this way, and this actually proved out to be quite a strong move. B8 is not working directly. It's not working directly, right? But I was actually aiming for something here that maybe I can get this move later, white will answer, and then I play here. So there is some agi for sure. It just doesn't work directly. So I was looking there. And that's actually also one of the reasons why I could have stayed patient, because I could have used this agi later. So anyway, so I played this move. White decided to resist. I jump. White separated. Black played here. White played here. Black played here. White made this exchange, which is still okay. And now White decided to cut and played a very vulgar move here. Actually, at this moment, White could have compromised here. White could have compromised. So my opponent could have just taken this Ponuki, then Black would play here, and then he can either come back here to get some points or try to close the center somehow. Let's say this Ponuki would not be useless. Also, we shouldn't forget that Black's dragon in the top left is not 100% alive yet. So so that's why uh, I believe this would be one of the possibilities how White could play. And but in the game, White decided to play the most stubborn move here, and it could be really dangerous for Black if White would not be taking away his own liberties here. So at this moment, I believe White should have just played this. Ah, hi Rene. Yeah, sure. Feel free to promote your great congress. I will be registering soon this month. And okay, so White should have played here. It doesn't look like a that big difference, right? But you will see why this liberty can matter later. If White would have played here, it would be a lot of drama. Like it doesn't look very clear. Like if it's even possible that Black could play here, White plays this one, let Black capture in a geta, but there is some agi inside that White can activate, like this one, for example. Because if Black plays here, White will play this move. So there is some agi inside that White can activate. So that's one of the reasons why shouldn't have uh, why I shouldn't have exchanged this, but still, White probably thought that this Atari will not be answered, because White probably thought that this will happen. So okay, like this, Black would manage to capture the cutting stone in the geta, but just losing this stone is too big. It's first of all, there is some continuation in the corner, and second of all, White gets super solid on the right side. So I don't believe this would be any improvement compared to the situation before M16. So, so what to do instead? So what to do instead? So Black decided to connect, because at this moment the decision making is not that hard. I cannot win the game by not connecting at R14, or at least it would not be easy. So I decided to connect, and let's see what happens. And since I had much less time on the clock than my opponent, I wanted to make him think at the moment. So in the end, he played this move. I Ataried, played here, here. White has to jump out this way. This is very important, because if White plays this jump, then this connection is in center, then this, and then block. And why this liberty matters now? The liberty matters because White cuts here, this, 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 this. White has only two liberties. White is captured. But what if there would be a liberty here? Sorry, wrong stone. This one. Imagine it's like this, basically. Kind of. right? So we should always try to spare our liberties like this. So this would actually completely change the semi there, and most likely black would have to look for another options. So that's the most important thing to learn from this sequence. Spare your liberties. Like when there is going to be a semi, try to spare your liberties, because in this game white cannot cut this way. White just decided to leave like this, but black actually managed to not only connect this one in center, because now white has to leave. That's actually another interesting part, that if white plays here and black plays Hane and connection, then this liberty also might be interesting again. Like it might be also decisive in this semi. Like it can be also very close combat. So that's another thing white cannot do here. So white would do this one. Black plays here. And before black starts running here, black also fixes the other group. This way. All in center. And now finally black goes out. White has to defend on the right side, and black goes out. White has to defend once again, and black goes out. And even though black is running a bit painfully, still black managed to destroy the top side, and black also managed to destroy the thickness and the potential in the center. And it's no problem to connect the stones, because now the Ponuki is waiting for to saving his friends running from the top. Yeah, so this was actually the decisive situation, not only of this game, but also of the title, also of the whole title match. Because most likely before this shoulder hit, black was slightly behind. So I was not happy with the game. I was looking for this kind of move. Then Then white could compromise, but white didn't. So white played here, still okay. But now, if white wants to separate, definitely has to play at p14. White has to definitely play at p14, because that liberty at q15 simply matters. And it seems like now there is no sequence how white can get a good result. And what's worse for white, that not only black destroyed a lot from the top, but black managed to live in the top left. Yes, black is 100% alive in the top left, but why? But black was not. I was also wondering, maybe at some point, like before all of this happened, like maybe white will try to play this bamboo. Like this bamboo would not make black alive anymore. Like there can be still some kind of sequence how black can actually try. Like there are some moves like this one in center, this one in center, and so on, and so on. Some weaknesses in white shapes. But after this bamboo, well, black would probably have to try to fix the group somehow, and that might also change the situation at the bottom. So I'm not sure. I was not sure before if the sequence was 100% working, but I believe the Liberty at Q15 made it work. So like this, black just managed to make life with both groups, and that was the decisive moment of this game. And like my two wins before, it ended up later with opponent's resignation in the end game. Yeah. Okay. So this was the decisive moment, and I really have to tell you that this actually, well, I had to overcome my heart a bit, because I rarely play this kind of risky moves. Of course, I was hoping that white will just start answering at the top side, but well, at this moment, uh, I had to play a bit more active, not just defend my groups and so on, but I felt like I'm behind, which I was. So I needed some courage here, and it made me happy. I managed to reverse the game by this kind of sequence. I usually reverse games in the end game, but in this game it felt like the end game might not be enough. And also one of the stages of the game where my opponent improved a lot during the last year's is endgame. So I didn't felt that much chance. So in the end, I decided to for this kind of sequence. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's actually true. Some we have to accept a bit of risk always, right? Like we cannot play 100% defensive all the time. And for me, this title match was also important that I can reverse a negative situation from 0-2 down to 3-2. That will be very important next month because next month there will be a pro qualification coming in Europe. So I hope I didn't say something private, but as far as I know, it's fixed and it will be happen in my home country. So this was a very interesting preparation for that super important tournament as well. Basically, I played well. You know, I'm an expert on losing finals of pro qualification, right? I guess I guess many of you know that I lost three final games already. Uh, well, in this match, I basically played three finals because I couldn't afford to lose, and so this was also so this was also very nice practice for that. But but not but not only I was quite happy I managed to reverse this from 0-2, but I also would like to thank my opponent who is constantly improving during recent years. He's giving me really good games, and also it's good for our national team that he is becoming stronger and stronger. So yeah, I'm really happy about this kind of competition in Czechia. And since even though we are a small country and not that big association, we have quite a lot of six dan and stronger players. And also quite a lot of nice tournaments. So those of you who haven't been to Czechia for tournaments, feel free to come. Like there is a huge Prague tournament at the end of April, and which has which is like the whole budget for that tournament is like 10,000 euro or something, and there will be like 150 more players, six round tournaments. So feel free to come. It would be great. And yes, I will be at Grand Prix finale in Grenoble in a few days. Yes, and I will also play the weekend tournament. So the last week of January I will spend in France in Grenoble. That's true. Yes, that will be another great competition. Yeah, so very busy January this year for me, like a very tough start to the year, but I like it since pro qualification is coming. I like it really. Yeah, so I was very happy to share these games with you. So I hope you like them. And if you have any questions, still you can ask for something if you want. Yeah, thank you. It's quite important for me not only because it's of course like the most it's like not like it's the most valuable tournament in Czechia for the Czech players, but also you know I'm a full-time Go player, so it's very important for my income as well. So, but yeah, I'm actually yeah some of the ounces I exchange for money directly, but some of them I keep for worse times, let's say. So like the rate is oscillating, of course, but not that much recently. So it's also worth to keep some of them. You can hope, Rene, but first I have to prove it. Yeah, yeah. I will I will definitely try my best. And I also have something to learn from this lesson that some of you who came later for this streaming, you didn't see that I had some problems with sound and technical issues overall at the beginning of this lesson. Well, and I learned from this that sometimes if you don't know how to fix it, just reboot the system. Yeah, checking we were like checking for half an hour what is going on with my sound, which was no problem during my previous streams and so on. And finally, the only issue that I just had to restart it, and that was fixed, kind of. Yeah. So that was the reason why the lesson started a bit later. So I'm not a computer expert like I'm like many other Go players. So yeah, I will learn this probably. Okay, restart is always a possibility. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I guess that was it. That was it. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. See you sometime again, either on a tournament or another NGD lesson. And yep, have a nice Saturday and have a nice weekend. And yeah, next time I should really restart it. Yeah. Yes, Oscar should be in 2 weeks, which is interesting because Oscar will not be in Grenoble, so he probably has time for a lesson. Yeah, so I think it will be Oscar. Okay, anyway, have a nice weekend, everyone. Bye bye.